Hello and welcome back to today's episode of the Motocast Show with Vikas Rachumala and Motozo.
Hey,
Right.
buddies!
So, Vikas bhai, what topic were we going to cover today? I think it was something related to some scams, right? Not the gambling app scams.
That is correct.
So today we are going to talk about service center scams. So disclaimer, this is not, we are not targeting any service center. We are not telling that service centers are bad. But in general, there's a scam that goes around, I think almost every city. And
I know a lot of insider information about this because I owned a service station and I was connected to a lot of mechanics who worked for major dealerships like KTM, Yamaha, Bajaj, and all of them. So I know what goes on. You sit and have a drink with them, and you get to know everything.
that's amazing. But let's do one thing. Today we will just talk about how you can be uh, not a victim of this kind of lot of scams.
True.
So we will only talk about how we can help our fellow viewers and riders. So next time when they walk into a service center, they should be, aware of everything. They should know why they're
Correct.
paying this amount of money. What is the logic and the reason behind it? Because I personally, if I name a brand, uh, I used to go for a regular service on Yamaha when I had the FZ25. So unfortunately, I did face a lot of these scams, uh, like in the initial days, and yeah, I ended up paying a lot of money. And later on, I realized that some parts, they were actually never worn out. So
Yeah. So here, there are 2 points. Point number one: in case your motorcycle is an absolute commuter, like 125 cc, then you don't have to worry much about these scams because the technicians who work at the service stations, at the dealerships, they won't get much benefit by scamming you because yeah, because the whole spare parts, oil, bill, I mean, the complete bill of your service itself is going to be very low. So, uh, you know, you don't have to worry much about it. But the moment you are into the performance segment, now, performance segment is even a R15 with a 150 cc engine. So, from here is where you have to be aware, you have to be concerned uh, about what not so good thing can happen to your motorcycle at the service station. So, first thing I'll tell you what happens. So, at the service station, the mechanic, see, now here, I love mechanics because they are very important people. Okay, without mechanics, what would we motorcycle enthusiasts, we motorcycle lovers do? Uh, However, unfortunately, they are paid very, very less by the dealerships. So, here, before we talk about any problem, we should understand why does the problem happen. See, to become a qualified mechanic, you need to spend years understanding engines, understanding how the whole science of automotive engineering works. And these mechanics very often have 10 times more knowledge than any of the automotive engineers. Okay. So they are good people. Only thing is that they are paid very, very less. I mean, terribly less. Okay. So if someone spends 3 years of their life, 5 years of their life understanding how engines work, and it's hands on work, okay, you have to work in hot conditions, you have to touch parts which are heavy, you have to open up nuts, bolts, and you don't even get paid decent money to take care of your family, then you would unfortunately be resorting to unfair practices. And that is what is happening in our country. So if dealerships start paying these mechanics healthy salaries, they should get 50,000. Okay, 50,000 rupees take home. Every mechanic should get in India. That way, now when a person's stomach is full, they will not think about stealing food, correct? It's as simple as that. Now, here we are not justifying what the mechanics do at the service stations, but the reason is this. Now, point one, what do they do? The biggest scam that happens is, for an example, if it is a KTM, okay, in the KTM 390, most of the time you're using Motul, which one? 7100, right? So, yeah. So, that costs, I think, today, what about 1,000 rupees a liter? So, yeah. So, now when I give my KTM Duke 390 for a service at the service station, authorized dealership KTM, okay, what will they say? They will say, okay, give your motorcycle and please go away. You are not allowed to be here while we service. For that, there are two reasons. One is there are some customers who frustrate the mechanics. Correct. Arey, why are you not doing this? Why are you doing this? Why is this not done? It is good to ask questions, but the mechanics are working hard. So don't ask unnecessary questions also. That is number one reason why the service station people tell the customers that please, give your motorcycle and go away and we will fix it and you come back and take it. Please don't stay at the service station when we are doing it. All right. And number two reason is safety. Now, it's a service station. There can be parts, there can be heat, there can be a lot of things. So if the customer is standing inside the workshop, something goes wrong and the customer gets hurt, the customer can actually sue the service station saying that, my hand broke or something happened. So there is a legal liability risk also for the service station. So for these two reasons, they tell that please go home, we will service it and you come back and take it. But here, when we go away, what happens is the mechanic will take a brand new can of Motul 7100 from the service station's office, telling that he's going to fill that oil into the Duke 390. But he's so experienced that just by looking at the oil which is there in the sump of the motorcycle, he can tell if it is in good condition or not. So he will drain it. Okay, he will drain it in a very clean tray. He will put a new oil filter, but he will most probably add 70% of the old oil and 30% of the new oil. So you will never know about that. Because for an example, the fully synthetic 7100 can run for 15,000 kilometers under ideal conditions. And if you have given your motorcycle for a service at 5,000 kilometers, the mechanic is most probably going to not replace the oil fully. So he is going to take the remaining oil and probably use it on his own motorcycle or sell it to a friend or sell it to someone. Number one thing, this happens. Okay. So it's a very bad thing. But again, the good thing is that, good thing means the relief factor is that the oil is so good that even when it is reused, it's not going to destroy your engine straight away because the oil filter has been replaced. Okay. But you paid for fresh oil and you're still getting old oil. So that is a bad thing.
So, like this kind
So,
of thing, there's
hmm.
so many other kinds of scams. I mean, if we start doing that, it will take a few hours, I'm pretty sure.
So the only way to prevent the scam from happening is to physically be at the service station, but they won't allow you to do that. So the only way to prevent it is an outside mechanic who can do the oil change for you in front of your eyes.
Absolutely true. I agree with that. And I'll share my tip also, because why? So, for example, uh, you should or you should have good knowledge of your motorcycle. You should read the owner's manual. You should do small things by yourself. In that way, people will be able to learn about their own motorcycle. I know a lot of people who don't even know basic things about their motorcycles, like how to, adjust the clutch lever, how to check the free play of the clutch. Very small basic things we should learn about your motorcycle.
I always say one thing. I always say one thing, that is, if your girlfriend's legs are paining, body is paining, you should at least know how to massage her body. Yeah, you know, yeah, not someone else massaging her body. So if it's if it's your motorcycle, you should know at least how to do basic things.
We are not saying you have to become a doctor and, give her medicines
Yeah,
or do the health checkup, but at least the basics, you should get it right. So that's very simple,
correct.
basic thing. Make sure when you're going to the service center next time, you should question them why you're doing this, because the brake pad still has some life left. All right. So this is part one. Stay for the next episode of this series where we will be covering more such scams. And if you have any story about any scam that you faced from the service center, please, please, please share it with us. You can tag Vikas Rachamalla on Instagram while sharing it on your story, and we will be happy to add those stories on our part two of this series. That's all for today.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, buddies. Like, share, subscribe, and do share this video with all your buddies.